joining back. My goodness.
What
So,
happened, Aiden?
good day. I got kicked for inactivity because Caden told me to start a video, which I did. Ow,
I didn't think you were actually going to. I
back.
thought you were gonna wait till this game was over.
What do you
okay.
mean? Oh my goodness. So basically,
What's
how I
going on?
met.
How did I die?
So okay, now can I
Let's talk about
continue?
some video, please. Well, let's not talk about some video.
No, we're talking about it in video. Screw you. So basically, how me and Caden met, it was like it started off. I knew Nash. Then Nash showed me Combat. Combat was all like, oh, I have another friend. We were playing Dries and Dry. Or the first time I ever met him, I joined the party because Matthew was in it, and Combat was there, and then I think Caden might have been there. So I was there. And I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, oh, and then Combat's like, oh yeah, this is my friend. He also has another YouTube channel. And I'm like, oh, he's sick, cool. This guy's a nerd. He's not talking that much. He's kind of a scrub.
I was nervous, okay? I only knew Combat. I literally knew.
I know. Let me finish. So then I was like, oh yeah, this scrub. And I don't know, I think I played like 3 games with you total before you left for like a couple of months, like for like half a year.
Aiden, listen to me.
Yeah, and then
oh my goodness, let me finish my story.
Okay, I'm just
then I met, and then like six months continued. So then like all of a sudden, Caden's like, I'm like, oh, Caden's on. This is kind of strange. And then I'm like, and then I invite him to a party, and he joins, and I'm like, oh, sick. Oh, you're the guy who's been dead for 5 billion years. And he's like, oh yeah, it's me. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I guess you're here. And then we started talking for some reason. He decided to join my party. He was like going off of like, what was it? It was what am I thinking? I'm thinking. Why am I brain farting? What was it called, Caden? I'm forgetting. It's the thing, hotspots. He was using hotspots.
Oh yeah,
to talk to
I
me.
was using my phone.
He was using, he was using his phone, and he just joined my. Oh wait, no, it was like this. It was like this. I think the first time he was like, he got on, and I'm like, oh okay, he joined. And then then we talked, but then he left, and then he had to, then he joined my party another time. I was playing Overwatch alone. I was just kind of playing Overwatch. And
Aiden, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
oh my, shut the frick up, Combat. And just let me finish first. Okay, and then I'll let you join, and then I'll let you talk. Okay, so then we talked again, and I'm like, oh hey Caden, it's Caden. He's been dead for 5 years. I was in a party alone because playing Overwatch because everyone left me, and it was like late at night or something. So then he was like, oh hey, I'm here, and then I'm like, oh cool beans. And he's like, oh yeah, the reason I haven't been on is because I don't have internet. I'm like, oh cool beans.
That is not what happened, Aiden.
Oh my, shut the frick up, Combat. I swear I'm about to snap your neck.
Aiden, what happened was,
shut the frick up, Combat. Let me finish.
Yeah, no, Combat's right. No, I meant you. I came back whenever I was at the hotel and using the hotel's internet.
Oh yeah,
and
that
thing. Tower.
Was it?
So
really? I don't. Okay, you never told me. You never told me that part. I never knew that you were in a hotel. Wait. Holy crap! Yeah, that was an event that happened. Oh yeah, I remember it now. I'm sorry.
I think it apologizes.
You're just remembering this tidbits that, yeah, but everything else, I just forgot. Yeah, I'm sorry. I
think I deserve
apology.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My memory's retarded. Sometimes. So that's something I forgot. But one time we were playing Tricky Towers together, and we were just like all playing Tricky Towers, and it was like a hotel or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that video I made. Called
then he had to leave. Yeah. I said that. I remember. I have a video too. It was like Catawag is back too, and then I was like, oh yeah.
I made a video and I accidentally spilled bag instead of back.
And then so then that happened, and then afterwards he had like the whole hotspot thing. So then the second time he joined my party via his phone through hotspots. And then that happened, and we were talking. I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, dude, do you have Destiny? And he's like, oh yeah, I got Destiny just to like try it out, so when I have internet I'll be able to play that. I'm like, bruh, that's like my favorite game of all time. No, it was one of the it was one of the hotspots before that one. I'm like, you should get Destiny. And I'm like, and he's like, what's Destiny? Yeah. It's like, oh, it's like my favorite game of all time. I got it on my PlayStation. It's like the best. I used to play it all the time on Xbox with Matthew. And he's like, okay. And then next hotspot happened, and he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, I was like, so, and then he was like, oh yeah, I got Destiny now. I'm like, oh my goodness, yes.
Sorry to interrupt you again, but it's just like literally like not even gameplay. It's just like basically talking right now.
I know, I understand
No,
this.
this is what I like though. This is what I like though, to be completely
Yeah,
honest.
so can I finish? Alright, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
you
for
can.
the interruption, Combat, and Caden. So basically, thank you. So basically then, so I was like, oh, sick, super hyped. So then I was like, so when are you getting your internet? When are you getting your internet? And he's like, oh, I don't know, they said it'll happen in like a week. So I'm like, oh, okay, so then we just gotta wait a week. And then it got delayed like super mega ton. I remember, like, and you were just like, kept talking to me like, dude, they still haven't brought the internet. I'm like, dude, that's stupid. And he's like, yep, they still haven't brought it. And just like continued on. And it was like, they still haven't brought it, they still haven't brought it, they still haven't brought it. And then finally they brought it, and then now he played at Las Vegas. And then we started talking a lot more, and we're friends.
Yeah, right. Hang on, my story.
You should have said that. Wait.
Hang on, no,
you should have said that Caden's viewers didn't know that he was in Las Vegas.
He lived in Las Vegas that one time for that long.
I was trying to keep that from someone else, not from my viewers. I was trying to keep him from someone
Tyler?
else. No.
Ooh, what?
Jace?
Oh, I know who you're trying to keep that from.
Paige?
No.
No, shut up. I know who you're trying to keep it from. Nothing.
Hey.
It's no one that matters.
Dang it.
Oh wait, Kane, I want to say something that I got. Trap King and Aiden know about this, so who I am, but don't say Aiden.
Hang on.
Aiden,
I'm gonna send you a picture. I'm gonna send you a message because I'm pretty sure, it doesn't show up on your live stream if I send you a message.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. I remember you talking about it beforehand.
No, I think whenever I tell you, you'll be confused. Because I mean, if you laugh about it, I don't know.
No, I think I know what you're talking about. You talked about it with me before.
I'll look, Aiden.
I don't know if you remember or not.
What? Wait, what? Oh, I thought you were talking about Paige's friend.
Before I had to go, before I had to eat.
Yeah, I remember. I'm talking to Caden.
Caden gets like no skins whatsoever. Oh, Caden. Okay.
So yeah, basic. Oh, I thought you were talking about Paige's friend who like lived near Las Vegas, who liked you a lot, but you didn't like her that much.
Oh, guys, look what I got. This is what I meant whenever I cry every time.
To be honest, I'd probably expect that a little bit if I, you know.
I
don't know. I'd kind of expect that. It makes enough sense.
Who was it? Can you not tell me or something?
I don't want to say it on stream.
I can't say it out loud right now. I'll tell you later.
I know. Message me like at the end of this game or something.
Yeah.
Alright.
But yeah, I remember another one of the funny moments. Are you okay with me saying that one time you were on the phone for like 20 billion hours when you were playing Destiny? You okay with me? Are you okay with me saying that story? Alright, so this is what I first ever heard about Paige. My viewers don't know about it, but Combat doesn't. Alright, I don't know if Combat does. I don't know if I've told him about Paige. Or told him about the first time I ever heard about Paige. So basically, the story starts. Me and Caden were playing Destiny, right? We're jamming. We were gonna play we're gonna do some Archon's Forge. Or no, we were like exiting Archon's Forge. And we're like,
yeah.
And then he was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna get a call from one of my super cool friends from Indiana. I'm like, oh sick, cool, take that call. And he's like, all right, yeah, I will. And so he hides in a corner. I remember this. He hides in like this little like entryway to like one of the things. It's like this little entryway. If I was in Destiny and I was patrolling the Plaguelands, I could show you where it was. But yeah. So then he was on the phone like with her like for 3 billion hours, and I'm like, bro. So I love eavesdropping. Can you like put it on speaker so I can eavesdrop? And he's like, yeah, dude, I'll let you. I'll put it on speaker. So he's like, so he put it on speaker, and I'm like listening to the whole conversation, and I'm like. And it's literally, okay, this literally went on. He was talking with her for about, like, what? Like, hours. Literally hours. It was literally hours. And it was crazy. And then finally, I'm like texting him as this is happening. I'm like, Caden, this is going on for so long. Because I didn't want to talk in like, case, like, she heard. So I'm just like, no, you took off the headphones. So I'm like texting you like, dude, this is going on for so long, and he's like, yeah, I know, and like eventually, it was crazy. So and eventually he actually like says like, all right, listen, I'm very tired right now, Paige. So I'm just gonna get off. I'm just gonna hang up, and I'm super tired. I'm just gonna go to sleep. And I'm like, and then I started laughing when he actually got back, and it was hilarious. And then, but he didn't tell me about Paige like that early on. He told me about how he liked Paige, like, or how he liked Paige earlier.
moving the payload.
But yeah,
Please don't.
that's the story. Oh
Aiden,
gosh.
run!
Someone just tuned in as I
double.
finished my story. That's hilarious.
They were like, I don't want to
Okay,
listen
now
to
can
this
we
story.
stop about the silly old stories and actually
This is
focus
one of
about
those
the game?
people who are like, can you check out my friend or can you check out my channel and stuff? I don't remember.
Oh, it's
I
one of
think that's
those
what it was.
people? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I hate
I
them.
thought... No, I'm sorry.
I hate them.
Yeah, I was doing a video, and, I one of those people who came in, and they were like, hey, you want, like, you know, sub to my channel, and on the video, out loud, I said, no, I'm not gonna sub to your channel. You sub to my channel if you like the gameplay and everything, and they were like, oh,
That's
okay,
what I
fine,
said. Dude, Matthew was like, bro, don't you hate those people?
Hayden, I hate you. I hate you for what you did.
You're welcome.
You blocked it off, but I was only able to kill the
Too
man. I
late,
could have
we
killed
win.
3 other people.
But yeah,
Remember
Matthew's
whenever I
like,
did that?
Matthew was like, dude, don't you just hate when you get those people who are just like, sub to my channel and I'll sub to your channel and like your videos and stuff. I'm like, that's stupid. Like, literally videos, YouTube is for, if you like my videos, go ahead, watch them. I don't want you to subscribe to me just because I haven't a subscriber. I want you to actually watch me and give me views. And like, I want you to actually watch me and enjoy me. Enjoy my content. Not like you subscribe to me like as a show of power.
No, it's
like
not.
as a show of power. And I'm like, that's stupid. It's just stupid. I don't like those kind of people. I think it was. I don't know. Let me check my phone. Where's my phone?
Aww.
Where'd I put it?
Not up there.
There it is.
Not up there.
Oh, there's me. I'm so cool. I'm gonna vote for King.
I voted for Aiden.
I voted for Aiden.
Oh, thank you. I leveled up!
Oh, yes. Hey guys, I'll be back in 1 second.
No, you won't. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man, I'm at 1970.
I'm at 1535. Oh, he just asked, can you check out my channel, Swag X Thief?
So I can what?
He just asked if he can check if I would check out his channel. I mean, it's not like before, but I don't know. I guess I might check it out.
He wants a shout out from your 10 subscribers.
Yeah, he wants a shout out from my 20 subscribers, which none of them will watch my video. Oh, I got the soldier one that says "Young punks, get off my lawn."
You already have it.
I know. But pretty much I got a whole bunch of crap. Oh, yeah. Let's wait for combat to get back. Dun, 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 dun.
But we need to talk so we can...
Caden, what's your story? You got a story?
I mean, I can tell a story, I guess.
Tell a story. Tell us a story.
Want to hear a story?
This is a story about a do. Okay, go.
This is a story about how my life got turned upside down.
Oh, that's funny. Alright.
In one little fight, and my mama said, "You haven't said I lay with my aunt or something."
I'm gonna see if I can find a video. No, I'd probably get copyrighted. Never mind.
Yeah.
Copyright, our favorite thing.
Did I tell you about the story whenever I got copyrighted for my second video?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sad. I didn't talk about anything.
All right, here we go. You ready for this? Improv story.
Yeah,
Let's do this. All right. So there was this kid. His name was Jerry. He had a good life until his life turned upside down. It all started in a little village, right? He's like, oh man, I'm so excited. We moved to this new village, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna meet lots of new friends. So he goes to school, and he's like, oh hello, do you want to be my friend? And they're like, go kill yourself. And he's like, oh, that's not very nice. So then he goes to another group of kids, and he's like, hey, do you want to be my friend? It's like, do you play Pokemon cards? He's like, no, not really, but I mean, I could if I wanted to. Well, then you're not allowed to be my friend. You're not good enough. So then he's like, oh, okay, bye-bye. I guess I'll go talk to these other people. And he talks to these girls and he's like, hi, do you want to be my friend? I just moved in. And they're like, oh, get out of our face. Oh my gosh, you're disgusting. And he's like, oh, okay. Then he finally goes to this lonely,
Okay,
Combat, I'm finishing, let me go to my, I'm almost done with my improv story. So then he goes up to this lonely guy. So then he goes up to this lonely girl and he's like, hello, do you want to be my friend? I just moved in. And she's like, I don't know. It's like, and he's like, oh, are you okay? I mean, I don't know. If you don't want to be my friend, I don't have to. And he's like, no, it's okay. It's like, oh, are you shy? Let me tell you how to not be shy. And then they were friends forever until like 3 years. And then they decided to start dating, and they were like dating forever until like they actually married each other eventually when they got to like what 19 or something. 20. Okay, cool. And then like when they were 20, they got married and they lived happily ever after. Boom. Let's go. Kaden, your turn. Your turn for improv story.
Okay, I got one.
Okay,
Once there was this girl who always wore a green. It's more like a horror story. Once there was a girl with a green, kind of like scarf around her neck, green scarf that she always wore. And there's a boy next door that was her friend that they both really liked each other. So when they got older, they finally married each other, and he still asks every day, "Why do you wear the green scarf?" He's like, "I will tell you one day." Then one day when they were really old and had kids and all that. She was sitting in bed, really sick, about to die, and he's like, now I will tell you the story of why I always wear the ribbon.
And then she died right then and there because she got a heart attack.
No. Then she untied the ribbon and her head fell off.
Oh! Oh snap!
Wait, I wasn't listening. Can you say that again? All I heard was head fall off. I'm so sad. The poor old lady.
She put off the scarf.
So basically when they were married, she said, I will finally not tell you why. When she was sick, she finally said to her husband, I will finally tell you why I always wear the scarf. She told him to untie the scarf, and when he did, her head fell off.
Dang.
Oh, okay, get
That's
it
some
now.
crazy stuff.
So the scarf held up her head.
That's some crazy stuff.
That's pretty cool. I like that story though.
It's crazy.
I read it in a horror book.
Well then. So much for improv!
No, I cried in class one time.
I have too. I missed my mom.
Okay, no. Oh yeah, that's
Hey, were you like 5?
Yeah, it was like whatever.
I
Continue your story.
I cried in 6th grade because I missed my mom. But I mean, there was alright. So this girl, right? Her name was Madeline, and she was telling. So she brought this horror book class, right? And she's telling the story, and I got scared like so much. I hate horror movies and books and stuff. And she jumped at me because I was sitting at her, and like in the book it says jump at the nearest person. Oh, dude, I freaking oh, it was scary. I was sitting right next to her, and she's like, the head fell down the chimney, and the next thing you hear is she jumped at me and threw the book at me. I was like, oh god, no! I started freaking crying. It was so scary.
One time I cried on the bus because I kept on getting bullied.
Alright!
Okay.
Who's gonna do the next improv story? Because I already did mine. Who's gonna do theirs?
No, we're just gonna focus on the game now. This is weird.
No,
I
make
like
an
it.
improv story. We won last time because of our stories. Improv.
Yeah,
go. Kaden, your turn. Go ahead. Just think of a story off
Can
the
you
bat.
focus about the game, please?
Wait,
No.
that means you made it up, right? Improv? It's like
Yeah,
you made it up?
improv. You just make it up on the spot.
Okay, so there once was this kid whose life got turned upside down because the prince.
There's once this kid who had diabetes. The end.
Shut up.
Yep.
What?
All right.
Wow, what a story.
Okay, so there's this kid. Okay, her name was Kelsey.
Oh.
She woke up one day and she was like, "Oh man,
I have
I
diabetes.
can't wait to go in the room next to mine." And then she looks out the door and she realizes that her brother is there. And she's like, "Ew, my brother, that's gross." So then she turned around, and then then she was all like, "Oh no, you know what? I'm just gonna go home, even though I'm already in my house. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm high. Who cares?" So then she's like, "Oh my, this is a quite interesting story that I'm telling inside my head, and then she realizes that her life was a lie. And then she turns around and guess what? It's the ghost of her dead brother that she murdered there because she was freaking out because she was high. Yep, the end. Good job. Great story. I win.
Dang. Combat, your turn.
That's pretty
Okay,
dark,
I've
though.
got a joke. Okay, so Jim has
It's an improv story, not jokes. Improv
It's an
story.
improv story, making up in my head. Jim has 100 chocolate bars. He gives...
I want one.
We didn't ask for you to make a math question.
He eats 25 of them and then eats the rest. Now what does he have?
Diabetes. I've heard the joke
He has
before.
100 chocolate bars. He eats 25 of them and then eats the rest. Now what does he have?
Diabetes.
Dang it, you've heard that before.
Yeah, we've heard that before a lot.
No, it's just because you just made a joke about diabetes, so obviously it's gonna be the same joke.
Yeah. Come on, what the frick are you doing?
See? Oh,
Alright, my turn for an improv story. My turn.
I died.
So, there was a kid named Billy.
Stop. No.
Billy was
stop,
an adorable
please.
little child. Everyone loved him. He was such a cute kid. His
Wait,
mother
do you
loved
say
him.
his name was
He had
Billy
lots
or
of good
Lily?
friends.
Did you say Billy or
Could
Lily?
you protect me? And he's like, he plays
And then
video
his
games
name
all
was
the time.
Connor,
And
and
his
he
friend, and he had this friend named Conhead. And then he's like, hey Conhead, you really are annoying sometimes. And Conhead's like, yeah, well shut the frick up, because I'm about to mess you up, fam. Because they were doing a 1v1. And Billy's like, well then, I guess that's one person who doesn't like me. And he's like, and Conhead's like, what are you talking about? I like you. Not really, haha, get wrecked, nerd. And Billy's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna go play with my friends.
I really like this Connor guy.
It's Conhead. His name's
he's pretty
Conhead.
cool.
Screw you. So then Billy goes outside and plays with his best friend. His name was Finkel. So he's like, Finkel.
Pimple? Did you say Pimple?
I said Finkel, you retard. No.
Oh, I thought you said
Mama,
Pimple.
you're ruining his story.
Stop ruining the story. So he's like,
I don't like
Finkel.
the story.
It's like, Finkel, are you up to play some games of basketball? And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm always. He's like, yeah, bro, I'm always ready to play some basketball with my best friend. And then they're like, okay, let's play some basketball. So he's like, do you have the ball? It's like, no, my ball's flat. So then he's like, okay, I'll bring mine. And so Billy, he goes into his garage and he's like, oh, okay, where's my basketball? And then he can't find his basketball. So then he's like, Finkel, there's a problem. I don't know where my basketball is. And then Finkel's like, here, I have an idea. So then he goes up to Billy's crush's door and he's like, hey, do you want to play some basketball with us? And then Jennifer, that's Billy's crush, is like, yeah, I'd be totally up for that, fam. And then so then she gets her basketball and they go out to play a couple of games. So the whole time Billy's super nervous and can hardly speak to make any of like the call outs, like over here. So they lose because it was a 1v2 with Jennifer and Jennifer being alone on her own team. So then Finkel's like, dude, what's the problem? And he's laughing because Finkel knows that Jennifer is Billy's crush, and he's like, why would you do this? And he's like, because you guys need to get to know each other better. Then he's like, you know what? Fine, I'll talk to her. So he goes over to Jennifer and he talks very stuttering, like he talks with a stutter. He's like, Jennifer, you were really good. So then Jennifer's like, thank you, and then Billy's like just staring at her the whole game, and Jennifer's like, what's your problem? And it's like, and then Finkel comes by and he's like, Billy kid over here has a crush on you, and it's like, and then Jennifer's like, oh, no way, because I have a crush on Billy, and they're like, oh, and then Billy finally speaks and he's like, no wait, really? Are you joking with me? And she's like, no, you're like my biggest crush of all time. And then yeah, hold on. And then Billy's like, and then they finally they go to school together the next day, and they're having super fun time. And then Jennifer's friend comes by and she's like, oh my gosh, I've been noticing that you have been spending a lot of time with this Billy kid over here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and like you haven't been spending time with us, like, oh my gosh. And then Jennifer's like, listen, he's my new boyfriend. And then Billy's like, wait, what? And then Jennifer's like, yeah, you're my boyfriend, right? And then Billy's like, yeah, sure. And then so then the Jennifer's friend is like, oh my gosh, you're so disgusting. Really, Billy? Oh my gosh, like the grossest kid in school. You're so disgusting. You disgust me.
But it turns out I like him anyways because I think
shut up! Hold on, you're ruining my story. And then Jennifer's like, "What are you talking about? He's he's been my crush for like ever." And he's like, "Yeah, and he's gross. I don't like him." Yeah, I know. Hold on. So and then I was like, "Oh wait, I have to go. I have to go eat. So see you."
Yeah. Who was that?
I'll be back.
Who was that? Who said that?
That was Aiden.
Oh. That sounded like Naz.
Yeah, I did, didn't it? That really didn't sound like Aiden.
Well, he's getting suspended though.
Yeah, I know.
We're not gonna play with him.
I know. Man, we're losing a lot. Maybe because we need another tank. I'll go Roadhog.
Oh wait, never mind. I finished the story.
Thank goodness, Aiden.
Never mind, I don't have to
please.
eat. Okay, thought I did.
Thank goodness, Aiden, if you have to go eat, can you like wait until the game starts?
Time to finish my story. And Jennifer's like, you know what? If you don't like them, then we don't have to be friends. So then they stop being friends, and Billy's like, you didn't have to do that. And she's like, no, I like you a lot. And he's like, oh, well, thank you. So then Billy's like, so, I mean, what are we gonna do? And they're like, you want to go play some basketball over at the courts with your friend Finkel? And he's like, yeah, we can do that. So then they play a game of basketball, and then it's time to go back to class. So they go to class, and they're like, oh my, and then they're like, and then it turns out they've sat next to each other the whole school year, and they haven't really noticed because they were paying so much attention in school because they like schoolwork for some reason.
Yeah, learn.
So yeah, then that happens.
Learning is power.
So then they're listening to the teacher, and they're like, and so it's like, so then they start whispering to each other. You know, it's really cool that you're my seat partner. It's like, yeah, it is, isn't it? So then finally school's over. I don't know why I included that part. It literally had no point into the story at all. So then school's finally over, and they go walk home together. So Billy's like, okay, well, I guess Jennifer's like, okay, well, thanks for walking me home, Billy. And Billy's like, yeah, it's no problem. And she's like, you know, you really are a cool kid. And she kisses him on the cheek, and then runs back to her front door. Runs to her front door. And then Billy's like super blush. His face might as well be a tomato. And so then that happens. I know. So then that happens, and he gets to his house, and he gets online, and then Conhead's like, whoa, why weren't you on for so long? You're such a nerd. You know we needed you in the team. And he's like, you know what? I don't have to care about you anymore. And then he blocks him on the what's it called? On his Playbox 360, and because no copyright allowed here, bro. So then he blocks him on the Playbox, and he finally makes lots of new friends on his Playbox. And then he the next day he asked like, hey, do you have a Playbox account? Yeah, asked Jennifer, hey, do you have a Playbox account? And she's like, oh my gosh, it's like all I ever do pretty much. And he's like, oh, you should add me. And then they add each other, and then yeah. So then they add each other, and they play lots of their Mind Watches, and they play a lot of that together. They're having a fun time.
Mind Watches?
Yeah, Mind Watch. Yeah, they play a lot of Mind Watch. They play a lot of Mind Watch.
Like Overwatch and Minecraft?
Yeah, shut up. Hold on. It's Mind Watch. It's Mind Watch. It's a game. It's like the hit game. It's the new hit game. So So they have a lot of fun with that. And then, so yeah, and then they lived happily ever after together. The end.
It's pineapple sauce.
That's it. That's the end.
That was the end?
Yeah, they live happily ever after.
Hey, no joke. Hey, no joke. I actually kind of want to hear the story more.
Yeah. Oh, okay, fine. I'll continue the story. So, it finally is Christmas Day. It's finally Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve, and Jennifer and Billy are still together, having a fun time together. They're super cool friends, and slash girlfriend and boyfriend. And so basically, so they're together, and they're so excited for Christmas Day because they both got each other some really cool presents. And then Finkel's like off in the corner, like, oh man, I wish I had some presents. And then Billy's like, what are you talking about? I got you a present. And it's like, oh, you did? And he's like, yeah. It's like, why wouldn't I? It's just like, oh, I feel left out because you've been hanging out with Jennifer all the time. And I'm like, and then he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll hang out with you a lot more too. Oh, freaking kill me, please. End my life. All right, whatever.
Jerry, no.
So yes,
Jennifer.
It's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve. They're having a fun time. They're like hanging around having their Christmas Eve party with all of their friends from school, and with all the decorations that they put like a little while ago from like the start of December. And so basically, so Jennifer's like, oh, you want to go hang out somewhere over here, Billy? And Billy's like, no, if you don't mind, I'm gonna hang out with Finkel because he's been feeling left out. And he's like, and Jennifer's like, oh, okay, you can have fun with your friend. And so then Billy and Finkel, they're hanging out a ton. They're being super cool buds. In fact, they go out to play basketball, like winter basketball. It's like one of their favorite things to do. Ice basketball. It's like ice skating on a basketball course. It's super cool. So it's a game that they made up themselves. And so then they're doing that, and then we have to move to Jennifer's side. So Jennifer actually met some new friends after disfriending those other meanie girls who were mean to Billy. So she's hanging out with them, and she's like, and her friend's like, oh my gosh, it's so cool that you and Billy are together. And it's like, oh yeah, thank you so much. And it's like, you know, he is really cute. And then Jennifer's like, yeah, he is. And so yeah, then that happens, and then they're doing their own thing too. They're like painting nails, they're wrapping presents and stuff. And they're like, and then her friend named Jenny is like, Jenny's like, so what did you get him? And he's like, shh, I have to make it a surprise, but I'll whisper it to you. Oh, I got play the game.
Just out of nowhere, like doing your story, like, oh, I got play with the game.
But yeah, so then she's like, so then he, and then, oh, Caden left. Oh, well, that sucks. Wait, what time is it? Oh,
He doesn't love us.
Man, he doesn't get to hear the rest of the story. Here, let's see real quick.
He got off line.
Oh, yeah. Okay, rip. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
did he? Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll tell you the story. So I'm just gonna go into like quick play instead.
No, it's a 1v1. 1v1.
No, we're just gonna do quick play. We're just gonna be quick play. No, we're just gonna do quick play.
No. Fine then. After that, we can.
And then after this quick play match, I think I'm gonna end the stream. So then Jenny is like, Jenny's like, oh, what'd you get Billy for Christmas? And then she's like, here, I'll whisper it in your ear because I don't want him to hear. And then Jennifer's like, I got him the sequel to Mine Watch. I got him Mine Watch 2, the next step. And she's like, oh, I get what you're saying, wink, wink. And she's like, okay, sure. Okay, he's back. All right, I can't continue the story. I need to invite him back. Hold on, let me.
Wait, in the search.
Yeah. I'll invite him. He needs to be able to hear the story, the wonderful story of Billy and Jennifer. Yeah.
His internet probably crashed.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. Who knows?
You don't know if Ghost Swag.
Yeah, I know, right? Is he gonna join?
Ghost Swag! I'm gonna spam him.
Don't spam him. Here, let me invite him again. Just in case he didn't get an invitation, like, I don't know, he didn't see it or something.
I still am.
Wow.
Swag. I'm gonna message him.
Alright, whatever, I'll continue the story for you. So then she's like, Jenny's like, oh yeah, wink wink, I get it. And she's like, okay, I don't know why you winked. And then, so basically, so then it cut, so then she looks out, so then Jennifer looks out the window and she sees them playing. She's like, oh man, I'm so glad that they're having fun together and that, Finkel isn't being left out. So then, and then she turns back and Jenny's not there. And she's like, oh shoot, where'd Jenny go? Oh, she's probably go wrapping some presents over there. So then she continues wrapping her presents and all that for the Christmas Eve party. And and then it turns out Jenny went outside to talk to Billy. And she's like, Billy, I know what Jennifer's getting you for Christmas. And she's like, and Billy's like, oh, what, really? What is it? And she's like, she's trying to kiss you on the lips now. And he's like, wait, what? How do you know? And she's like, she told me. And she's like, okay, that's weird. And then, okay, so then, cuts to the next day. It's Christmas, woohoo! And when it finally comes to opening presents, Billy's like, oh, so what did you give me, Jennifer? Like, and he's like, wink, wink. And then Jennifer's like, oh, I got you something you've been really excited for. And he's like, oh, ooh, you did? And he's like, yeah, I know you've been excited for this for a long time. And he's like, yay! So then when it finally comes to opening the presents, Billy's like all super excited. And he's like, so then when he finally gets his present, he like puckers up his lips and he's like, it's like, and then Jennifer's like, ew, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, never mind. It's like, okay, let's just open up the present. And she's like, oh, okay. So she opens up the present and he's like, oh my goodness, you got me Mind Watch 2, the next step. And then Jenny like saw it and she's like, oh God. And she's like, what have I done? And then Jennifer's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And he's like, and then Billy was like, weren't you gonna give me, and then like it cuts off, and then he like, Jenny grabs him by the shoulder and like cuts him off, and like pulls him into like a little corner, and he's like, okay, shut up, and she's like, okay, I may have made a little mistake when I told you what she got you for Christmas, and he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, so basically what she told me, she said she was getting Mind Watch to the next step, and I thought that meant the next step in your relationship. And he's like, oh, so you thought she was gonna kiss me on the, oh, that makes sense. So then it cuts, and then he's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Hope it's not too awkward. And then he goes back to Jennifer, and then he's like, okay, well, thank you for the game. It's really cool. I'm so excited. And she's like, he's like, Billy. And then Billy's like, oh, I almost forgot. And she gives the present to Jennifer. And he's like, and then she opens it and she's like, oh my gosh, you got me Mind Watch 2, the next step. And she's like, yeah, I mean, I thought you might like it too. So then she's like, oh yeah, we can play together. Awesome. On the second Mind Watch. And then they're like, yeah, woohoo, fun. And then, so then they're like, oh man, it's super cool. We got the same game and now we get to play together when we get back home. And they're like, yep, that's cool. And then, so they go to sit on the couch together, and then Finkel, as a little prank, decides to take some mistletoe and put it over Jennifer and Billy's head, and he's like, and then Finkel's like whispers in Billy's ear and is like, look up, and then Billy looks up and his face goes completely red. And then Jennifer's like, what's the problem? And then she looks up, and then her face goes like entirely red. Like they're both looking at each other, super red-faced. And then they're just like, well, I guess we're gonna have to kiss. So then finally they lean, and then they kiss each other on the lips. Mwah. And then everyone like sees it, and they're like, aww. And then their face goes completely red, like I mean entirely red. It literally looks like their heads are two cherries. And then they're like, oh no, and then they feel super embarrassed. And like all of the kids are like, aww, and they're like, Billy and Jennifer sit in a tree, and then they're like kind of crying a little bit on the inside. So they're like, okay, let's just go out into the backyard. So then they go out into the backyard, and they're like, man, those kids don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what true love is, said Jennifer. And Billy's like, yeah, I guess. So they're sitting on the bench, and they're like, you know, I'm so glad I get to be in a relationship with you. And he's like, yep, I agree. And then they give each other nice, good hugs, and the Christmas party continues. The end. Take 2.
It's the end.
I mean, I don't know. Should I make more of the story? It's kind of hard, to be honest. I'm really working hard on this story. To be honest, the story
it's funny how I don't think my viewers can hear you, so we're just all they hear is like blackness, like.
Why can't they hear me? Well, it should be on. It should be allowed. Yeah, it's always allowed. It's always allowed. It's always allowed. So they were able to hear me. And if it wasn't always allowed, then my viewers wouldn't be able to hear me, which. That wouldn't be good, because literally it would literally just be a long pause of literally nothing.
Well, I guess we can go play now. Caden's still not training.
Alrighty then, let's just play some comp, just you and me, while we wait for Caden. I swear if Caden joins, I swear if Caden joins like in the middle of the comp game, I'm gonna cry. Like, oh my goodness, why couldn't you have joined any time earlier? Yeah, I don't think he is. He's dead. He's dead right now. Maybe he's watching YouTube. Maybe he was only supposed to watch YouTube or something.
And then his dad walked in too quickly, like turned off the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then he's like, pretended, and then his dad's like, hey, you know you can't be playing this, and you can only watch YouTube. So he back on and watched YouTube.
Exactly.
By the way, I did a perfect impression of his dad. You can't be doing that.
Okay. So, should I continue the story or make a new one?
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I'll continue the Billy and Jennifer story. Alright. Let's see here. I gotta think about where it's gonna be.
One darkness, stormy night, they're feeling alone in bed.
Alrighty then. That's where we're starting it. So it was still December.
No.
It was still December, kind of getting close to. It was getting close to January, but it was nowhere near New Year's Eve. It was past Christmas, and
wait. You said it's nowhere near New Year's Eve, yet it's almost.
It's getting closer. It's getting closer. It's a freaking. It's supposed to make it sound like my story's cool. So it's a story. It's a snowy and stormy night, and Jennifer.
Aiden, wait. Christmas is on December 25th, and then.
Oh my
January
goodness!
1st.
I know. Stop giving me the math. It was supposed to sound cool. All right. Okay. So. It was a dark. So Jennifer had come to hang out with Billy a little bit, and Billy, and then it started to get really snowy, and it had like a super snowstorm and stuff. So
They built an igloo and made out then.
Oh my, shut up. So they were in Billy's. They were at Billy's house, and so yeah, that was happening. And she was at Billy's house, and she was like, oh man, it really is snowy. So they were playing a lot of Mind Watch, like before it was time to go to bed, and then Billy's mom walks in, and he's like, okay, I think it's time for you to go home, Jennifer. And then she's like, oh, and then Billy's mom's like, and she looks out the window and she sees like super snowy, like it's crazy snowy. She's like, oh no, you can't go home on this weather. You can stay here for tonight. Billy, you're gonna sleep on the couch today. Jennifer, you can take his room. And then Jennifer's like, oh okay, thank you, Billy's mom.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's like straight up, Billy, get out of your bed. You're sleeping on the couch. Jennifer's getting in your bed.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cruelty.
It's not cruelty. It's just like the plans. So then that's happening. So they're playing lots of Mind Watch, and then Billy's mom finally walks in and is like, oh, the storm hasn't cleared up yet still? Alrighty then. So I guess it's time for you to go to bed, you two.
What's your character rating?
Okay, fine. I guess I'm going Mercy. So it's like, okay, we'll go to bed now. And then, so Jennifer heads up to Billy's room, and Billy is like getting cozy in the couch, and he's like, and he's got his blankets and stuff, and then, so it's like, he's trying to sleep and stuff. He's about to go to bed until Jennifer comes down, and she's like, hey, can you come into your room? I'm kind of scared and really cold. And he's like, and then his face gets red, and he's like, yeah, sure. So he heads upstairs and follows Jennifer into his room, and then he's like, here, I'll sleep on the floor over here, and you can sleep on the bed. And then she's like, okay, thank you. So yeah, then that's happening. And again, Billy's trying to go to bed, and he's super close to sleeping, but then he hears Jennifer's like teeth rattling against each other, like she's really cold. And so yeah, so that she's really cold, and he's like, and then he gets up, and he gets on his bed, and he puts his arm, and he like lays down next to Jennifer, puts his arm over her, and then she's like super surprised, so she kind of jumps a little. And then Billy's like, oh no, it's okay, it's just me. And she's like, oh, okay. So they're going to bed. So they're like super red. Their faces are crazy red. And then they're finally going to bed. And they go to bed, and yeah. So the next morning, Jennifer like wakes up Billy's like, oh shoot, you have to get out of the bed and go on the floor. Go sleep on go pretend like you're sleeping on the floor before your mom walks in and sees us in the bed together, and because she might get wrong thoughts. So then he's like, oh yeah, you're right. So he gets up and goes on the floor, and so then his mom finally walks in and she's like, I have breakfast for you too. And he's like, oh okay, thank you, Mom. And she's like, oh wait, and there's like, Jennifer's like, oh thank you, Billy's mom, and Billy's mom notices Billy on the floor, and he's like, what are you doing here? I thought you were gonna sleep on the couch. He was like, yeah, but Jennifer got scared, so I wanted to make sure that she wasn't too scared, so I slept here. And he's like, oh okay. So they finally have breakfast, and so yeah. So they finally have breakfast, and it's some nice waffles, some good waffles, and Jennifer's like, oh my goodness, thank you, Billy Mom, these are amazing. And Billy's like, yeah, she's a pretty good cook. And Billy's mom's like, oh please, I'm humbled that you said that. And then Jennifer's like, you should be on a cooking show. She's like, yeah, but I've got to take care of this little guy. And she like pinches Billy's cheek, and he's like, Mom. And then, so yeah. And then Jennifer's like laughing, kind of. She's kind of like smirking over there. Like just kind of smirking. And then, so then, yeah, that happens. And then she's like, the storm's cleared up. You should probably walk Jennifer home, Billy. And he's like, yeah, you're probably right. So, so they're walking home. Billy's walking Jennifer to her home, and they reach the front door, and they both smile at each other So, and then they give each other a big hug, and then they part ways, and then Jennifer goes back into the house, and yeah, the end. That's the end of there. You got any reactions about it? Did you like it? Did you like my story?
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh man, I'm so good. I should be a story writer. Okay. We just won. That's cool.
Got triple kill.
Dude, my stories are the reason we win. I'm pretty sure.
I know, I love your stories. Like, no joke, you could actually be a writer when you grow up.
Thank you, Combat.
Aiden, your stories are really good.
Thanks, Combat. Okay, think I have a good idea for the next part in the story. You ready? It's chapter 3. Or no, chapter 4. Chapter 4. Chapter 4. It's summertime. Billy and Jennifer are still together like always, and they're hanging out. So yeah. So they're going shopping for summer stuff, like summer clothes and stuff. And like a swimsuit, like, cause they're going to take a trip to,
Hawaii.
We'll say Palm Springs. Yeah, Hawaii. We'll say they're taking a trip to Hawaii. So they're shopping for clothes and stuff. They're shopping for and they're like getting stuff to pack and all that. And they get like goggles, they get swimsuits and stuff. So they go back home after getting all their stuff packed, and they get all their stuff packed, and they get all their stuff packed, and they're ready to go. So it's the next morning. It's time for their flight to Hawaii. And it turns out that they slept in a little bit, so they're feeling pretty rushed to
it's like
get
Home Alone all over again.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I know. So they're really rushed to get all their stuff ready and to get to the airport. Who the frick? I'm trying to finish the story, yet this kid joined. I can't finish my story. I feel too pressured because I don't like them. No, I'll finish my story. Oh. So no, I'm just kidding. I'll finish my story. So basically they're feeling rushed. They get all their stuff that was packed from last night, and they at Billy's house. Billy and Billy's mom.
I'm a dummy.
Billy and Billy's mom, they're getting all this stuff and they're ready to go. So then Billy's mom like rushes, she's like, okay, it's time to get in the car. So they get in the car. So Billy gets in the car, and so does Billy's mom. And then they almost get caught with the ticket, and they get away with saying that they needed to get to the airport. And they're like, okay, well, and then the cop's like, okay, you can keep going. And so then they finally get in front of Jennifer's house. They get to the Jennifer's house, and then Billy texts Jennifer. It's like, okay, we're outside. You and your mom can come out now and get in the car. And they're like, oh, okay. And then so then they come in, and they're rushing all the way to Finkel's house because Finkel's also coming on the trip with them. So then they get Finkel and his mom out, and then yeah. So then they're all rushing to the airport.
3 moms and 3 kids?
Yes, there is. Yep, exactly. So yes. So then by the way, they're all single moms, by the way. They're all single moms and stuff. So they get to the airport. Oh, shut up. Shut up. So they get to the airport, and they're rushing all the way. They get their bags and everything. They're rushing all the way. And they make it to the gate barely just in time. They're literally about to close the gates. And so then they finally make it in, and they're feeling all relaxed and stuff, and they're in their seats. Jennifer, Finkel, and Billy, they all had a seat next to each other. And so yeah, they were hanging out. So the whole car ride, they were just kind of goofing off and just they were playing with their they were drawing stuff and all that. They're doing drawing contests and stuff. So yeah, that was happening. Yeah, whatever. So they were drawing all of their like imaginary stuff, and like they were just kind of imagining how it'd be back in going to Hawaii. So they're super excited. They're like, oh my goodness, yay, this is gonna be so fun. So they're landing. They make it to Hawaii, and they're like, woohoo! So they put on their sunglasses, and they're like, oh yes, Hawaii, here we come. So then they go outside the airplane, and they're like, oh man, this place is awesome. Can you already feel like the nice warm air? And then it's like, yeah, I can see the ocean already. I can already see the ocean. They're like, yes, it's amazing. And so yeah, so then they take a taxi to their hotel room. Or no, they take a taxi to car rental. So they rent a car, and then they they ride the rental car to their house, or to the hotel. And so they do that. They're riding all the way to the hotel. They made it to the hotel, and so yeah, they're at the hotel and stuff. So they're all getting unpacked and all that. Oh yeah. Hi, Dada. So yeah, they're getting all unpacked and stuff, right? So and then they're already getting ready to go to the pool. So it's time for them to go to the pool. They're getting their swimsuit.
They should go to the beach.
Yeah, the beach. Yeah, well they have a pool, like they have a super cool pool. They want to go to the pool first because it's like, you know, the hotel and stuff. So they're going to the pool. They're getting ready to go to the pool. And then they're all excited. They get their like pool noodles and all of that. They get their pool noodles. Their what are they called? The donuts and stuff, like the donut floaties things, and all that. So finally they get everything, and they're ready to go into the pool. It turns out the pool wasn't even that packed that day for the hotel. So they get all their stuff, and they're super excited, and they jump in. They jump into the pool, and they're like, oh yeah, cowabunga! So they all jump in, and they're all like relaxing on their floaties and stuff, and just kind of like floating around, swimming a whole bunch, you know, doing all kinds of fun kid stuff, right? And they're just hanging out in the pool. And then it turns out they were so excited. They were so excited to go into the pool that they forgot to put on sunblock. So when they get back to the hotel, they're all burnt, and it's like, oh my goodness, what are we supposed to do? And the room service, like and she's like, the room service knocks on the door, and it's like, would you like to have your food? And she's like, oh yeah, come in. And then so the girl who brought the room service is like, oh wow, you kids are all burnt up. And he's like, yeah, we forgot to put on sunblock. And he's like, oh, you should probably go down to our gift shop and get some like aloe, like our aloe thing, so, and to like rub on your burns, so it makes it a lot less worse. So then it's like, oh, thank you for the suggestion. We'll be sure to do that. So they go down, and they're like, and then yeah, so they
I'm gonna ice, and I have to leave, which I'm really kind of sad about.
Oh, okay. I'll try to make this the end of the story quick. Okay.
No,
so,
I have to leave like now.
Oh, you have to leave now? Oh, well, sad. Join the next stream for the next part of the stream, or for the next part of the story. Woo, cliffhanger. Cliffhanger. Boop, 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 boop. If you want to listen to more of the story,
tomorrow, what time can you be on tomorrow?
Whenever I can. Whenever I want to. Yeah. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow me, cause you can. Follow me on Instagram @1205, and hope you have a good rest.